Hi everybody, welcome back to my videos. I'm going to talk today about this concept of normal eating, and it's something that I get asked a lot about by you guys. And you know, back in my disordered eating days, I thought to myself, how can there possibly be people out there who just don't think about food the way that I do? You know, how can there be people that aren't so emotionally invested in thinking about what they eat, obsessing about what they've just eaten, you know, obsessing about the nutritional values, about the calories, about, you know, how clean their food was. It just did not occur to me that there were normal eaters. This whole concept was just so bizarre. So I want to talk a little bit about the difference between what normal eaters are thinking versus what somebody who is crazy about food is thinking. And there's a big difference. And I want to talk today about the fact that it's more than just what they're doing. It is really not about what they're doing, because in essence, they're doing the same thing as you. They're eating food, whether it be more healthy choices or whether it be, you know, some unhealthy choices or less healthy choices. It doesn't matter. It's less about what they're doing. It's more about the mindset. And that's what I really want to focus on today, because there's so much power in the mindset. So changing the way you think, which will change the actions, change how you feel about what it is you're doing. So, you know, I know that there's a lot of people that are also struggling with this topic as well. And I know for a lot of my clients, they just say to me, but this is not going to be possible. I've never, ever, if I think long and hard, you know, experienced normal eating. So how can I possibly do it now? And I want to tell you, everybody has the capacity to change. Everybody has it within them to adapt, to modify, to take a new course of action. So if this is you, if you're, you know, listening, thinking, Sarah, I cannot possibly become a normal eater. Like I've never been a normal eater. I don't, you know, I can't recall ever having experienced normal eating, even if it was a discrete moment in time. I really want you to harness that power and that belief that you actually can become a normal eater, okay? And probably if you think back to some of the things that you've tried to do to be a normal eater, you'll probably notice that you've been focusing less on the mindset and more on the trying to be a normal eater through the doing. So, I'll just eat some cake. I'm sure that, you know, people who are normal eaters can eat cake and you know, that's all okay. If you're doing that, if you're eating the cake without actually having the mindset that what you're doing is actually okay, eating the cake it's just not going to do anything. You're just eating the cake. You know, if you do not have that mindset that what you're doing is okay, then how are you going to feel okay about yourself when you're eating that cake? So how are you then going to feel okay about what you're doing? And that is the really big clincher. That is the big difference between a normal eater and somebody who isn't a normal eater. And there's many ways to define that. We can say a disordered eater, or we can say somebody who is crazy about food, or, you know, all sorts of things. I'll let you work that one out. But just for the sake of this, I'm just going to call that person a non-normal eater. So really, there's lots and lots out there that talks about intuitive eating, and how intuitive eating principles can help you become a normal eater. So if you sit down and you chew your food 20 times and eat without distraction and look at the food and love the food, that's going to help you. I've tried all sorts of things. You know, I tried a whole lot of intuitive eating guidelines, which, you know, I've got a lot to say on that. I'll leave that for another topic, but I just didn't feel that worked for me. You know, I tried to nip my cravings in the bud by, you know, having a tablespoon of coconut oil when that 3 p.m. sugar craving came along. I tried to crowd out some of my cravings for sweet and salty food by just eating lots and lots and lots of vegetables, hoping that, you know, the vegetables would fill me up with all the nutrients I need and I wouldn't need to resort to sugar to give me extra energy. Again, that didn't work for me. You know, I was a super clean eater, and I can imagine a lot of you are as well. And eating vegetables is absolutely not a problem, and therefore I don't feel that this whole crowding out by eating a lot of vegetables helps us, because I still had intense sugar cravings and I was trying sort of every trick under the sun, and it still wasn't working. So basically, normal eaters are in fact not doing anything. Well, they're not doing anything at all to, you know, to be considered a normal eater. What they're doing is they're thinking about food. And they're thinking about themselves when they're eating food in a completely different way to how you are. So what normal eaters do is normal eaters are basically feeling okay about themselves, and therefore they're feeling okay about themselves when they're eating. So if they're feeling okay about themselves, they're feeling okay about what they're doing. That's the big thing. Here's an example. If you're okay about what you're eating, then what you're eating is okay. So if you're okay about the fact that you're eating chocolate cake, then eating chocolate cake is okay. If you're okay about, let's say, having lemon tart for dessert, which is what I had last night, absolutely loved it, then when I was eating the lemon tart, it was all okay. Whereas me 18 months ago, and a lot of my clients right now, they come to me because, let's use that lemon tart example. They'd be looking at the lemon tart, they'd be like, oh dear, lemon tart's bad. Lemon tart is, I shouldn't be eating this. Lemon tart's really, really bad. So when they're eating the lemon tart, oh gosh, this is really bad. And they're feeling bad about what they're doing because they're feeling bad about the food, which is essentially they're feeling bad about themselves. They're feeling bad about themselves for eating the food. So eating the food is never going to be okay. So my big, big tip for you is to start to make a commitment to work on the mindset stuff, to really start to prioritize the way that you are thinking about food. And my first practical tip is to really try super, super hard to stop labeling food as good and bad. That's one of the very, very first steps. We need to start to neutralize food. Of course, there are some foods that are more nutritious than others, but if you're going around labeling chocolate as bad, the devil, sugar's poison, all this and all that, really, that's not going to help you when you are eating the food. If you're eating something that's bad, you're going to feel bad about it. And I want you to stop and think about, 5 examples. You could probably easily think of 5 examples where you have looked at something as bad and as a result you felt bad, when you've eaten it. That's the first thing. I mean, and that is difficult. It is really difficult, but it's not impossible. It's absolutely not impossible. I've done it. So many of my clients have done it. There are so many other women that can do it. So if you join, my Practice Glow community, sign up for my blog post, grab the freebies, subscribe to this channel. There is a sisterhood of people who are also experiencing some of the same things as you. And I want to start a thread below this video. I want people to post some tips and some comments. How can we support other people who are new to my work, who are new to trying to make a change around how they feel about food? How can we collectively help you? I'm going to link to a couple of blog posts which I think have some really juicy tips to help you to stop labeling food as good and bad and to start just having a more neutral view about food, for the aim that when you eat the food, you'll feel better about yourself, okay? You'll feel better about yourself because you are feeling better about that food. I hope that this video has been really helpful for you, and I can't wait to see you next time I pop on and make a video. Bye!